Hello, everyone. This is Kurt Nelson for Screamer Magazine, the loudest magazine on the planet since 1987. We recently caught up with Billy Morrison, musician, producer, artist, and all-around great guy, and probably the greatest collaborator in the history of rock music. Watch the interview here or check out the interview on screamermagazine.com, where you can find all the latest rock and metal news.
I was just
here
watching,
we go.
I guess my first question is like, who the fuck is Billy Morrison?
Now, good question, and I can help you with that now.
Yeah, I watched the video, which is it's great. It's got a lot of
Well, the idea came from a conversation I was having with our PR company, where we all, my label, my PR company, we sit around. I've been in the business for decades, and I've done more than most. And yet, people often say, "Who the fuck is Billy Morrison?" Which is nice in a way. I mean, I can go to pavilions and not have a terrible time, but it does become frustrating when, the last solo album was hugely successful,
yeah.
and this one is shaping up to be as successful, if not more. And I struggle to tread the line between ego and my just my just dues, if
Sure.
you like, because I work hard on these things, and it is a solo album, even though there's a bunch of friends on it. And Mitch at the PR company said, well, the question is, who the fuck is Billy Morrison? We should have a little mini documentary. Well, you got to be careful saying things like that to me, because I'll go out and do it. So we did it, and hopefully it's a little light-hearted. I mean, it's meant to be a little tongue in cheek, but also get the point across that I'm good at what I do.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, again, I want to be respectful of your time, but I was looking at, like, how am I going to talk to Billy Morrison for 20 minutes and try
Well,
to.
we can make it 30. You get an extra 10.
Yeah, because there's so much here, and well, again, first of all, congratulations on the album.
Thank you.
I've got a chance to listen through it a couple times.
Oh, you have the new one?
Yes, I have.
Oh,
Yeah,
they sent you a link. Oh,
they
hey, cool.
did. They did.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple things. Well, number one, like, how do you decide on the collaborations you do? I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and call you the king of collaboration just from here on out because.
I'll take it. Thank you. You
So
know, the thing about deciding it almost decides itself. The music decides itself. I mean, for instance, I was working with Aid Fenton, who's a pro. He's Gary Newman's producer, and I wanted to work with him because he's a really good programmer. All those sounds. And I was working with him, and he sent me a bunch of stuff, and as the Taylor was coming together, it just kind of naturally assumed a Marilyn Manson vibe. As it happens, what happened with crack cocaine? I mean, I didn't write crack cocaine with Steve Stevens for Ozzy. It's just during that process. If you're good at what you do, you naturally gravitate into where the song needs to go. It's not a forcible thing. And if I am writing something that feels a little forcible, it normally gets thrown away, because music it should organically grow. And so, the Taylor, by the time it was two-thirds finished, the music wasn't even done. It was clear I needed to text Manson and go, I've got a song,
yeah,
and that happened with all of them except the Chad Gray. No, even Chad Gray at the end, I wanted that Mudvayne type voice. I would say every track gravitated itself towards the guest that ended up singing it.
yeah, that was actually a question of mine. I mean, because it really does feel like they're tailor fit, for the artist that you're working with. Because if I listen to something like "I'm Becoming," with Sully on it, that fits right in his
Really?
wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Or even like looking back to your previous album, like if we listen to "The Eyes Have It," I mean,
Uh-huh.
that is
Okay, so the Eyes Have It is slightly different because I wrote a bunch of songs with Al Jurgensen, or not with. I wrote a bunch of songs for Ministry. Al, we did something together, and Al said to me, "Do you think you could write a Ministry song?" And I said, "Al, such a huge fan, I could write 3 albums." And so he put me to the test, and I have got a bunch of co-writes on the Ministry records. During that process, I called him out and said, "I need you to sing on a track for my album." Well, the music I sent him was not the music that he ended up singing because he got confused. And he was writing lyrics to a Ministry riff that I had not used for Ministry. So that was a scramble last minute. I took that Ministry riff and made a Ministry song and just put it on a Billy Morrison album. But most of them, I mean, Duff McKagan's song, Leave No Trace, it's the most beautiful collaboration because I would never write something that sounds like Guns N' Roses and ask Duff to be on it because why?
Right, right.
Guns N' Roses do that better than anyone. But I happen to be quite close with Duff, and I know that it's either 1975 CBGB Punk
Right,
or
right.
1972 Rolling Stones Dead Flowers, Sticky Fingers, and that's my jam. And so I just said to Duff, let's write one together that's Stonesy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because the album is not without surprises. And that track certainly, like when I came across that, I'm like, oh my God, it does this shift that has this definitely 70s kind of Stonesy bluesy. Uh,
Yeah.
and then I get to something like, Butterfly Effect.
How did you like that song? I'm interested.
I hate, well, I don't hate to say this, but it was most surprising to me that's the one that probably aesthetically impacted me the most
Wow.
because
Wow.
I don't think I was ready for it as I was making
Well,
it.
that's the idea.
Mhm.
Look, I have to be honest with you. Most people don't do multi-genre albums because they don't work. I am in a very, very lucky position. I don't tour.
Right.
This is a recording project and a radio project. So and also no one's breathing over my shoulder expecting the next hit single. I am so fortunate that the guys at the label let me do what I want to do. And what I want to do is write songs in all the genres that make the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I'm not writing for you or anyone else. So when I'm a huge fan of David Bowie and I'm a huge fan of Elton John, those kinds of big, powerful songs. And so Butterfly Effect, for me personally, makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
I get the
Subject
chills.
matter, everything. Fred Corey did the orchestral arrangement on that, but I did it for me. So that when I drive around my block, I'm listening in my car to Butterfly Effect. I'm like, wow, this is a beautiful song. When I hear someone else say that it has a profound effect, that makes me feel really good.
Yeah, it's a moving track. And I will say, I know that you're shifting a bit in genres, but like I went back and revisited Stimulator. Um,
Oh, wow, boy.
and it still holds up. I mean, it really does. But
Thank you.
there's certainly a through line that when I listen to your music that this is Billy Morrison. I mean,
That's really interesting. You hear that?
I really do.
Are you talking sonically or lyrically or
Um,
both?
well, I want to get to the lyric thing, but certainly sonically, you have definitely like sort of the big chorus feel, but there is
I
a
love it. Look, I grew up on the Sex Pistols. God Save the Queen is the greatest pop song ever. And if you don't believe me, listen to the end chant, No Future.
yeah,
It's the greatest post-song chorus ever. Big. I have to be true to what I love. And listen to any Oasis song ever. Another band that influenced me. Huge choruses.
yes.
Huge choruses. Don't bore us, get to the chorus. That.
But there is again, along with your big choruses, there's a almost like an industrial darkness that seems to run through most of
Yeah.
your work.
Yeah.
So on that note, like your lyrical approach, there's a lot of introspection in there.
Yeah.
You're writing a lot of first person, is that I mean, you've been very open about your struggles with substance abuse.
Sure.
is that still part of like what informs like your artistic output and your writing and
Um, yes, I would say that with this latest album, I've arrived at a point where I can finally let a lot of it go. I really do feel like in my personal life, I've, I make hideous mistakes like we all do.
yes,
One of those mistakes was shooting heroin for 15 years. Big mistake. It's gonna have lasting scars, lasting trauma. And if ever I need to, I don't have to dig very far
right.
to uncover some pretty strong emotions and feelings that maybe not everyone has felt. But also, I live a regular life and I have those scars and those emotions and those mistakes that I can draw on much more easily.
Yeah.
And so I feel that with Hollow, I mean, look, the title track Hollow is clearly about when I was homeless and begging for money. And I remember the expressions of people walking past me that were disgusted, looking at me, dirty and living on the street. Which I don't know whether I'd even when musicians talk about, oh, and I used to shoot heroin, I'm not sure people actually realize that I was the guy they were stepping over. I was begging for change. I don't beg for change anymore, but I still have that as an experience to draw on. But I also have relationship that I can draw on,
Yeah.
and the state of the country that I see when I turn on the news to draw on. So it's a deep well of life experience, I would say.
Yeah, on the collaborations, I mean, I'd be amiss if I didn't ask about like yeah, your relationship with Ozzy, and just I was always curious like what was it like to like really like truly collaborate, like to sit down and write with someone like that.
Yeah, that took about 6 minutes, that part. Look, I will talk about Aussie. I kind of shut it down usually because it's just, we've done that,
Yeah,
and I still miss him.
of course. Yeah.
But from the creative standpoint that you're asking about, Gods of Rock and Roll was written in about 6 minutes. You know, we wrote that in a hotel in Argentina, I think, at about 2 in the morning, where I was strumming an acoustic guitar. He had woken me up, probably, and I had gone to his room and we were strumming around and we wrote the song. Now, the process from that to what we ended up releasing last year, I mean, that's a 10-year very expensive process. I mean, we had a philharmonic orchestra, we had a choir, that takes a long time to put together, but the basic writing of the song took about 6 minutes, and our relationship was not really one of music. Definitely not career music. Our relationship was based on laughing
Yeah.
and talking about chocolate and
Right.
Monty Python and stuff like that. We didn't really sit around discussing world domination through writing a song. I was fortunate, very fortunate that I was granted the ability to put out, well, the last two songs that he put out.
Yeah. On your influences, and I find it so interesting. I can't tell you how excited I was to see Chuck D in there.
Me too.
I'm like,
Me too. Look, I hip hop is punk rock. It's simple. It's a group of disenfranchised youths saying, fuck you. This is what we think. This is how we do things. That's just what punk rock
it,
was. Wasn't a haircut, right? So when NWA and Public Enemy came out, I was like, this is the new punk rock. It's angry, it's violent, it's oppressed youth. I can get behind this. So
yes,
the old school hip hop is a huge influence to me. And I have to thank Be Real for
yeah,
getting me Chuck D because I didn't know Chuck. I still don't know Chuck. But
oh,
he's on my record and his verse and his choruses are killer. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah. And again, Dexter Holland showing up,
Yeah. Well, Dexter's good people. We've worked together at live. He's done a bunch of shows with us, you know. So Dexter was, and also that song, that's another great example. I wrote the song with a songwriter, an LA songwriter called Jacob Bunton. If you Google him, you'll see all his credits. A super talented songwriter and musician. So we wrote that song, and he was the one that said, this is an Offspring song. And I said, well, funnily enough, and I got the phone out because Dexter's in my phone. I'm like, hey, buddy, that's how it happens. It really should be that organic. It shouldn't be me calling agents and managers
Yeah.
trying to get hold of people that I can't get hold of. I did. I'm not going to name it, but there was one singer on that isn't on the record that I really wanted, and I did try going through the management route, and it didn't work out. So I'm going to stick to friends.
Yeah. And it definitely has that, like you mentioned, like the punk rock is pop in so many ways. It is such a big pop song, but it
Yeah.
still has that thread of punk to it. It just works so well.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I guess I do Angry Boy quite well,
You
you
too.
know?
Um, Now, I did want to ask you about your artwork, and
Sure.
I had a chance to take a look at the Gods and Monsters. Um,
Kurt, you did your homework.
oh well, I got to
I'm
be.
super impressed.
I was very lucky to be at. You had an exhibit. It was kind of like an opening with Mark Weiss in L.A.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did you go to that?
I covered it. I'm a
In
photographer
the
too.
car showroom.
That was it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Um, well, I guess the question is, like, how did you get there? I mean,
Well,
I know you started as a collector, but what got you to like, you know what? There's a medium I want to work in. There's something I have to
sure.
say here.
Well, I'm completely not trained. That's the first thing. I mean, I've always loved art ever since when I was like 11 years old. I was into the Sex Pistols, and I was lucky enough to have a mentor that was 15, 16 years old that said, look, the Pistols, that's great, but you've got to understand the New York Dolls. And in order to understand the New York Dolls, you've got to understand the Velvet Underground. Here's a book. Look at this. And in there was Andy Warhol's paintings. And I fell in love with contemporary modern art. I mean, this behind me is a Warhol. This is one of the last Warhols that he produced. So I'd been a collector for many years, and the late great Ozzy Osbourne is responsible for me picking up a paintbrush. I did it on honestly to shut him up because he was banging on at me about you should paint, you should paint. And 15 years later, here I am. He knew that about me. I didn't know I could do it. And I truly believe that anyone can do it if they put enough time into it. I paint most days of my life, even if I'm on the road. And he knew that about me before I knew that about me.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Um,
he owns the family have my very first ever painting because I did it in a hotel room with him.
wow.
Mm.
Do you work like in particular just like with acrylics, oil, spray paint?
Actually, that's a great question. All of it. One of my favorite mediums is to mix oil and acrylic, believe it or not. Look, I'm a fan of the Banksy aesthetic, which is posterized image spray paints, multi-layer stencils. But I'm also a huge fan of fine art, oil
Yeah.
on canvas, texture. Um, you know, there's so many influences, and so one of my favorite things to do is to mix that beautiful matte textured abstract oil together and then put a Banksy stenciled type image over the top. Risk is a huge influence on me. His multi medium art is a great influence.
Um,
But the truth of the matter is, the answer to your question is, I'll do whatever's in front of me. You know, you make it up as you go along until you stumble across stuff that works. I've said this before. If I wasn't a creative, I would definitely be locked up in jail. I'm not great left to my own devices, and so I embrace pretty much everything that is creative. I have people close to me have said try and focus on one or two things, maybe don't diversify too much. I've dipped my toe into many creative waters. Um, but I would say that doing radio, I mean, I've been doing radio for 20 years. Me and Navarro had a radio show on Indie 1031, which was FM. Remember FM radio? Like we were on there for 6 years. So, and providing I'm left alone to do my own thing, which seriously, you know, I can interview anyone I want, or I can not interview and talk about the New York Dolls for an hour. I can do that too. So it's kind of fun. I like it.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up here.
Sure.
Uh, are we going to see?
Oh, don't ask if you're going to see me play live.
That's what I was going to ask.
Oh, let me answer your question with a question. How can the song that went to number one and the song that went to number seven both were sung by Ozzy Osbourne? The song that is currently at number 19 and going up is sung by Sully Erna. How can I possibly give people value for ticket money when those people are not going to be there? Duff McKagan is not going to leave the stadiums that Guns N' Roses are playing right now to come and play the House of Blues with me. So as much as I would love to perform this stuff live, it would be fun. I think it would detract from the coolness that is, oh, Billy Morrison. Who the fuck is Billy Morrison? He's that guy that put out those records that had everyone on it and they're great songs. What a great songwriter. What a great producer he is. And he never played them live. You get what I'm saying. There's no way I could give these songs the justice they deserve by playing them live because it would be me singing them and no one wants to hear me sing Crack Cocaine.
I mean, yeah, that makes the point perfectly. It's the art itself. It's done what it's intended.
I think so, yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. And also we make a lot of videos. So, I mean, if you go to my Vivo page, we made 9 videos from the last album. Um, we're providing value for money and a creative brand thanks to the team. I use the same team on everything. The same Barry Pointer mixes it, and Dave Donnelly masters it. James Stewart takes all the photos. Pete Arick and Dennis are the label. That's my team,
Yeah.
and I don't want to add a live team to that.
Yeah. Hey, well, thank you very much, Billy. And
Thank you.
again, and thank you for just an astounding career and just amazing output, just consistently year after year after year. And
Thank
again,
you.
the album's absolutely amazing. We think we got an August release coming.
Yeah, I think it's August 7th, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So everyone, get out there and take a listen to this thing. You've done it again. The last album was astounding, and this one is right on par with it.
The phrase "you've done it again" is what people say when they go to the tiniest little shithole of a nightclub to watch their friend's band play that are awful, and when they come off stage, they come running up to you and go, "What do you think?" And you just say, "You did it again."
Oh
So
man.
thanks for that, Kurt.
We'll leave it there. I'm being honest. I'm being sincere.
I know, mate. I really appreciate the support.
Yeah, but thank you so much for talking to me and Screamer Magazine. Have a wonderful day. And again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care, really.
Bye.